Well, things are really starting to wind down now, as we've gotten the 30-minute warning from Dave not to dig any more than they can clean up in 30 minutes, and that was 10 minutes ago. So the activity level is starting to ramp down. Everybody's pretty much tuckered out, and they will continue to run whatever they've dug, get those buckets processed, start packing things up, getting ready to cross back over the river. And of course the support crew that has to stay behind has a lot of work still to do to pack everything up and get it transported back across the river, or stowed in whatever manner they're going to do it, stored away, covered up. So really hats off to all those people behind the scenes, as well as all the hardworking members and other people who've come out to join the group. I've seen some really outstanding effort today on the part of everyone. One last look down the line. They're still working, still going at it. And this young man right in front of me is one of the local heroes for getting arrested. I'm going to try and interview him here. Deet, I have to get your name correctly because, is it Deet?
Dyton.
Dyton. Dyton, my name is Chris Handegard.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Would you tell me a little bit, just like a synopsis of the story behind how you, tip of the spear, led the way in kind of putting Fish and Game and the state on their heels, backing them off a bit? Tell me about it, in your own words.
Well, this is kind of all a team effort. Dave's been working at this for a long time. There's a lot of people that are involved. I actually mine in Alaska most of the time, and but it feels like California is where the action is right now. With that first Ochoa ruling and the Reinhardt case, it just felt like I should be down here. It just felt like I was supposed to be here. So came down this spring, and wasn't a lot going on, so I felt like it was time to put a dredge in.
What happened?
Well, I started working and worked for a couple weeks on a claim belonging to the 49'ers, and Fish and Game came down, 4 of them, one afternoon, and down to where we were working, and basically put us on alert. They wanted to take our nozzle. I told them they couldn't take the nozzle. They would have to arrest me. At that time, they weren't ready to arrest, so they kind of backed down, and after a little while I agreed to show them the nozzle if they didn't take it, and so they went ahead and filed a complaint with the DA at that time. About 2 weeks later, until they've been back and come up with a plan, they staked us out, and they took my first dredge, my 6-inch dredge. And
they took a 6-inch dredge out of the river, confiscated your 6.
Correct.
Yep.
There were 6 of them at the time. They came down in 6 rigs with 2 trailers and staked us out. They'd been watching for a while. I'm not sure how long they had staked us out, but you can tell that it was set up for us. And so then they arrested me at that point, and took the equipment. So they finished up sometime late that night or early the next morning. And at that point, I was arrested and out of jail in about just a couple hours.
They couldn't hold you because their jail was full of felons.
No, that was the second time.
That was the second time.
Second time. This time, well, I'm not sure how much I should talk about it.
Yeah, we'll keep it as brief and very outline-ish, very minor details at this point because it's still a pending case, and there are certain gag orders in place and restrictions that legally we're bound to. So other than the general story that's already been published on the 49'ers site at goldgold.com.
And so we just decided at that time David got, well, we had a conference, online conference, and decided probably the best move was just to get right back in the water. So we put another 4-inch dredge in the water right where they could see us, and it took them 3 days, and then they came down, confiscated the dredge, and I said of course they couldn't confiscate the dredge unless they arrested me. And so they went ahead and arrested me this time, and ended up spending overnight in jail before they released me the next morning.
And that's where we stand as of now.
On Tuesday,
waiting for Judge Ochoa's ruling on the 23rd.
Right. I have an arraignment on Tuesday the 9th, 2 days from now, 3 days from now, and we don't anticipate any anything other than a continuance at this point.
And that's in Siskiyou County.
Yes.
Right. Judge Ochoa is in San Bernardino County. Yeah. So for the whole state of California, if you're out there watching, you're looking at the tip of the spear. Because if we don't pursue our rights by standing up for them, as this young man has done, they'll continue to do what they've done, which is trample them and extract them from us, take them away from us.
My personal opinion is if we had gotten 20 dredgers in the water or 30 dredgers in the water, the first time they came down, they wouldn't have had a strategy as far as how to deal with this. They probably would have backed off at that point. But with just a couple dredgers in the water, they were able to feel like they still had were able to control the situation just by confiscating dredges. The system doesn't want, I don't believe there'll be any more physical arrests. There's not room. They don't have the resources, and they're just raising their legal liabilities. So at this point, as close as we are to the Ochoa ruling, I'm not advocating necessarily putting another dredge in the water, but yeah, if we had been able to get a little bit more together, I think things might come out a little bit different to this point. We might be in the water already.
We're hopeful. Me too.
We're going to win.
And thank you. Well, we're getting down about to the last out here. These guys have been at it all day, lifting those buckets up, putting them through that high banker. 1 of 3. Look at this guy. They have processed a lot of material. We've seen how the progress went along the dig. I'll go back and get one last look at that. But they moved quite a bit of material. Could be good cleanups. A lot of effort put forth by the folks out here today. One last look at what all this effort looks like at the end of the day. Look at that bedrock. The effort it took to remove the material over it.
Oh, you're filling the hole? Yeah. That was an accident.
A lot of work today put forth by these group of 100 or so. They really worked hard at it. Pretty long work face here. They really cleaned this area well. Imagine how much gold is still trapped under that hillside right there if you follow the bedrock to keep getting the gold. It goes down another 30 or 40 feet. A lot of work. Well done. Good job, guys. They're down there doing their cleanup and lay trap. Got a little video segment of that, and we'll find out what the tally. Here's one last footnote I'd like to point out. To be good stewards of the environment, after disturbing it like that to dig for the gold, they're putting in the extra effort now to create a more natural profile so that they leave as little impact as possible. These are good miners, and all good miners care about Mother Earth that they're getting their pay from. They take care of her. They're not like these big corporations that do open pit abominations and then go bankrupt so they don't have to reclaim the land, declare bankruptcy. That's a good tactic, but miners like us, we do our best to leave the land as we found it. We have to disturb it a little to find the gold. And then we put in the extra effort like those guys up there doing. All those rocks were dug earlier in the day, and now they're taking the extra effort to throw them a little bit farther out, smooth it out, create a natural profile. Way to go, guys. A lot of hard work. Hard rock mining, above ground mining, high banking, serious investment of effort. And they all did it today.